leaving outside my door, and let me sit back a little bit. I was leaving outside my door, and no matter of fact, I saw the paper. Uh, well, let me rewind back. This is why I made that video. Why I was trying to do a live while I was walking my dog, to get her some air. Um, and like I said, God has been waking me up at like 1, 2, things like that. So um, I've been getting up praying. Uh, and like I said, walking her, getting her stuff together, and so anywho, I came home yesterday, and I noticed that I had a piece of mail stuck to my door, and sometimes my neighbors leave me certain stuff, so cool, whatever. And so I had this letter, and it was from somebody that I've known, and she's always leaving me some kind of literature or something. But it said thought provoking uh, information or something, and it was something dealing with Black history, uh, and the first thing I did was keep it outside. Not to say that this person is evil or anything like that, but I had already made a conscious decision for the month of February not to have anything that is invoking a negative connotation to my spirit or my spirit man or my spirit being. The reason behind this is because I've noticed every year, every year since I have known of February during Black History Month, that the world, when they look at Black history, they see pain, they see agony, they see anguish. Which all of that occurred, okay? But for the most part, they never really portrayed the true greatness of people that are Black. Because I will say a lot of Black people are not, um, that are considered in the States as Black, did not come from Africa, okay? Just not all of them did, okay? If y'all look at the movie Roots, y'all can hear, even though that was told by somebody, that was somebody else's story, but they told y'all was gonna. If y'all look in the history books, you can see that. If you look at your census books, it'll show you that a lot of us, a lot of our people before was here, was here. It tells a story. That's why things have to be diminished. But anyhow, not going down that whole avenue because that's not what I'm trying to go through. But anyhow, I noticed that it's more hatred that is pushed out. There is more anguish, like and a lot of self-doubt, that is pushed out because um you keep seeing all this repetition of people who've been like bottled down. You see a whole bunch of repetition of basically it's like a person's greatness, like we only can have greatness with struggle or something like that, like or that was the only time when something was happening. So I didn't want to have that. Not to say that it didn't happen, it did happen quite a bit, um but I did not want to have that emotion attached to me during this month because this is usually a month of a change. I noticed this last year when I had a change of spirit and a change of thought during the month of February. Doors opened up for me that I had never experience. And so, and I was grateful for that. Like, I really do believe that there are seasons where you can, like, miracles are there. And I really do believe the month of February, every month has some open door. I don't even want to get into that deep, but I believe the month of February is a drastic opening for change, like for real change in your life, like miraculous. Okay, and so with that, I've noticed that to be, you know, to be true, and really what it is. Like, in order to get to that place, you can't have all that negative, and people miss it a lot, and they stay stagnant because they have all these invoked emotions from other people's viewpoints and perspectives of what Black history is. You know, um, one thing, this will crack me up. Like, I promise y'all, this really took the cake for me. I remember when I came to Fort Wayne, and they was like, "Oh, where you from?" And I was like, I was born in Haiti, but I grew up in Gary. And if anybody know about Gary, Indiana, most people know about it because of the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, stuff like that. So, and they think, not only that, they hear all the negative about the poverty and people always fighting in the gangs, because it used to be, Gary, Indiana used to be the murder capital, because we had, the Hoovers. We had a lot of, like, gang violence, but a lot of stuff. But they never talk about all the productive things that we had. All when the NAACP comes around and things like that. How it was a monumental city for people of color, where there was not only Black people, but a lot of immigrants that came in there, and they made very good ways of living. And stuff like that. They never talk about that, they never ever talk about that. But I understood it, growing up. And people will segregate you. If you live in Indiana, they will segregate you because you say, "Where you from?" You say Gary. Like, wait a minute. But most of the people who are being productive in other cities and other places came from where? I guarantee you, even here, they came from where? Gary. So, anywho, I was talking to one of the individuals here, and they were talking about how, people in Gary didn't know a lot about, they lacked on history and things like that. And I'm like, homie, like, if that was the case, how in the world we both in the same class, and I know more than you, than when they teaching? You don't even know the basics. Okay, you don't even know the basics. If that was true, if that was even true, y'all, like, or they say everybody came from poverty, and that was another thing that I experienced too. Like, especially when I told them, I'm into radio, I'm into voiceovers, had all these people, "Oh, well, this and that, and you should look for mentorship." And this guy told me, if you're lucky, he'll introduce me to his son, and he's done all these, voiceovers and things like that. Not understanding that I've already been a voiceover person. I've already been an actor. Not to say that I'm, up here, but I know a little bit about it, and people will think just because of the color of your skin and just because where you're from, you don't have any experience. You don't know what you're doing. Mind you, I got a great uncle who owned over nine radio stations in different areas in the States, y'all. Grew up doing this stuff. Y'all. Y'all can pull my records. Grew up doing this stuff. And yeah, so it amazes me. So that's why I don't fester on it. I don't try to even explain it to. This is like maybe my third time, in a long span of my little tiny life, that I've even explained why I don't look at things. Not to say that I say forget Black History Month or anything like that, but I do not watch. I do not partake in what is shown to me for Black History Month. I do not. Okay, I do not. Okay, Um, and I don't think I will ever do that unless I'm forced to do it. And I promise you, I will find a way to deactivate that from my senses again. Um, because I know it will hold you back. It will hold you back. And then not only that, it holds other people back because it gives you all false perceptions of other people. Like, y'all, you just got to get out the matrix. So, anyhow, I had prayed to get that out of my system because I wanted to have um, productive new year. This is going to be a great change for me. This is a year that I'm really coming out, and that everything that God has put inside of me, it has been a time for me to rejuvenate and to go full throttle, you know. And so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. That's exactly what I'm going for. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. Um, yeah. Um, and so when I got that paper with all those, and it said thought invoking, I didn't take not one look at it. Not one. I don't care. Sometimes the enemy can see you from a mile away or hear something in the atmosphere, knowing that you're going in a different direction, and that energy will come and try to make you have it. I didn't let it walk through my threshold. I didn't let it walk through my house. No, we are going to have a prosperous month. We're going to have a turnaround month. Whatever you put your attention to, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so I don't care about anything else. Words do create worlds, and I'm very selective more than ever now about what I share, what I open my mouth to, what my eyes receive, what my ear gets, what I'm hearing, what I'm listening to. Very, very much, because it can deter and it can take away from what you are trying to do, and you don't want that. So, yeah, even though I appreciate it, I'm very grateful. I won't say that person's name because she's really kind. Thank you so much. But we will not have any thought invoking time anyway. And not only that, I have to recognize that even though you can be in the same environment as someone else, they can be living a totally different reality. And this is why I really do believe, that when you are seeking counseling, a lot of people are talking about counseling and things like that. When you're going to seek counseling and things like that, you have to have someone who understands the reality that you live in. That's why they allow you to find people who you can, or therapists or counselors that you can closely relate to. Okay. That's the person that you can relax to and be um, open with. You can be more truthful and honest with. Um, I know for sure that my reality, me being a person of color and living where I live at, okay? And anybody who's lived in Fort Wayne know exactly what I'm talking about. Some people try to live in the illusion like, no, we're the happy-go-lucky bunch. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity here. Not gonna lie about that, but there's a lot of true wickedness here. True wickedness. And that's not only dealing with race, it's dealing with the whole, mostly it's a mindset, y'all. It's a mindset. And not only, when I say not only with race, not only with um um not only with race, people of a certain age, people of a certain demographics. If you look similar to a certain person, they just assume you supposed to be just like them, act like them, talk. And that happens a lot of places. That happens everywhere. But I'm saying here, when you see it here, you'll see it in high concentrations. You'll see it more than other places. And if you know anything about the Midwest, one of the things that is known for the Midwest is that the Midwest, we have a lot of systems and a lot of thoughts that even though that the rest of the world has adapted and changed to, a lot of it won't change in the Midwest. A lot will not change in the Midwest. It's harder because the generations are stuck together, and their generations, not to say they last longer because they don't, but they're very closely entwined. Meaning they don't really move from different places. Even if they do relocate, usually they come back. If you look at a study of Fort Wayne and how some of the residents, you'll see that most of them have moved away, and came back and decided to stay because it's easier living here. Okay, I don't think that's by coincidence, and therefore you can see 4 or 5 generations. You also see that the generations, they have kids a little, not a little, but a lot quicker. They can be 19, 20. They got, babies, usually 15. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. You see more. That's about the average age out here, 15. They grandmother by 30. I know a lot of grandmothers have been grandmothers by 30. Some of them great grandmothers by 45, 50. And so you'll see those generations. You can see 5, 6. Some of them you can see 7 generations back to back to back. So, and that if you're around that and you're around the same environment, your mindset doesn't really change. And so, yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard navigating. And like I said, we live in different realities. People, we can live in the same area, can make the same amount of money, but it's gonna be more difficult for me to navigate and to have a pleasant time just based off of the color of my skin. People won't say that, but they will do it. They will do. Oh, not even talking about. I talked about age and race, but let's not forget. Not forget. Even though this is a democratic city, it's when I say, I'm not even gonna get in that. But anyhow, I'll say Indiana is a Republican state, so understand that. But you will see a lot of and when I say Republican, I mean conservative Republican. Not liberal Republican. Definitely conservative. But I live in a place, Fort Wayne is a place that is a liberal Democrat. Ugh. Okay, but anyhow, so y'all get the drift. Y'all get the picture. That has a meaning to it. That's why I put it out there. The people who get it. I'm gonna leave it like that. But it's even harder doing things that I'm doing, being a woman. It is very hard. The reason why is that a lot of people's mindsets, go back to mindsets, believe that only a man is supposed to be active in doing certain things. And if you do see a woman who's doing this, she cannot be feminine. She cannot still hold those virtues of being, a woman. And they have a perception of only if it is a woman. We would rather not for it to be a woman, but if it is a woman, this woman has to be very manly like. And this is one of the reasons, and I know this was God allowing me to do this because God told me to dress down for a good minute, and I had to dress down, and it helped me a lot to go and do what I do, serve and do all these things, and to be under the radar, okay? Because once you come out and you step out and you have that look, people forget, they are attracted to your beauty. That's nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you, in this sense, it's almost like you don't get a fair opportunity to do what you are what you are called to do. And so in that perspective, and I'm not trying to take away from men and what they do. That's definitely not what I'm. If anything, that's the total opposite. Um, but I understand that I live in a different reality than the people that surround me, and that's what I wanted to share. Like, I don't need to listen to 12,000 thought invoking lectures. I don't have to have intellectual dialogues, even though I love, speaking on thought and mindsets and concepts that can change the trajectory of our world. I love having those. I love going to meetings. I love sitting on panels talking about that. However, I don't always have to have that because I live in a reality that has individuals that live in multiple realities. Realities that are different than mine. So I don't have to um, go and think about somebody else's of a fictitious reality or a previous reality, because I'm living it through the people that I serve. I'm living it when I go out and I interact with people. I'm living it while I'm doing my work. So that's what I wanted to put out there. That's the whole concept of why. Some people have to have that. Think about this. This is what cracks me up. I got a friend, and I mean, I love my friend. Okay, I love my friends. Okay, um, she is country way. I love her. Um, has a meaning. Y'all like, what does that mean? Okay, this is what it means, because if you live in Indiana, y'all know what I'm talking about. Not even in Indiana. If you just a country person, y'all know. Y'all love camping. Y'all really love camping in the outdoors. I love the outdoors as well, okay? I love going to the mountains. I love hiking. I love skydiving. I love doing things that are outdoorsy, okay? So this wasn't far, but one of the things was, she was like, we need to get out in nature and we need to have openness. And then I'm like, okay, that's so true. And we need to go out camping. And I was sitting here, and she's like, we need to do it like it was back in the day, with tents and sleeping outside. You know, we got electricity, and we need to sleep outside. We got the we're gonna have the generator and all this other stuff, and yeah, and everybody else is like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds good. Um, Belle, when are you coming? They like all like, who's gonna pick up who? Everybody doesn't have to drive the car. And they're like, well, Belle, you got a bigger car. You can go and drive and pick up some people, or we can just use your car. Okay, that sounds good, but I won't be there. And they're like, what? Like laughing. They thinking that I'm cracking up, and I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna be there. And they're like, why? Like this would be a good adventure to be in the outdoors, and you haven't been done it. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I have grandparents. You know, um, that live in Haiti. Okay, I've lived in Haiti before, y'all. Um, I lived outside before. I lived without electricity before. I've been homeless before. I've lived without electricity before. Um, I don't need to get back to my roots. I don't need to have no extra experiences about that because I have lived it. They've never had that experience before. So yes, I'm not knocking it for them to go out and camping. It's a good experience. Get out of nature, get your mind out of all these electronics and everything like that. But for me, that wouldn't be an experience for me. You know, I still travel to different places, different countries. Um, that's my experience. When I go out and I help other people, not only that, me going back home to Gary and seeing some of the people who don't have electricity there, who have to get put out. Let me tell y'all, because you can live out here where I'm at right now and not have electricity, and they will not put you out in a lot of places. You can still have a home. But if you live out there, if you live in Gary, you live in anywhere in Gary, for the most part, unless you own the house, your electricity go out, they're gonna kick you out. So think about that. But anywho, I did not have to have that experience. We live in different realities. You know, even though we're friends and everything, they never had to experience that. You know, um, and I'm gonna say it wasn't all bad. It also lets me know that if anything happens that was different, if I can overcome those situations, I can overcome just about anything. That's why I don't get too vexed no more. Yeah, I might cry, I might go through some things and just, but I know I'm gonna get over it, you know, and I'm gonna make it better than before. Not just come out on top and be like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna make it better than before. You know why? Uh, because because I know how to survive. I know how to make it in hardships. And not only make it, but make things better. And I know the law of energy. I know the law of true power and the law of reproduction. Okay? Um, when you understand that, that's something totally different. But I'm not gonna get into the whole all that. You can find all that in the Bible if you want to read. Um, but yeah, I don't have to do that. So I just sometimes I ask why. So that's why I wanted to make this video. And some of y'all are resonating exactly with what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And if you have this problem and you're trying to elevate, I promise you, eliminate some things that are pulling on your heartstrings. Eliminate some of those things that are taking you away from what you want to happen, and see how things change in your life. Just remove them. Just remove them. You don't owe anybody no explanation. You don't owe anybody nothing. Nothing. Some people gonna think that you do, especially those people who mistreat you and try to do all crazy stuff. When you get your head right and say, you know what, I'm not about to deal with you. You can go on. I'm not about to deal with you and your shenanigans. Then that's when they want to wake up and shift. And the energy will shift anyway, y'all. It won't just be from other things. It's that energy is gonna shift because you're not focusing on what or feeding what was subconsciously taken away from you, because you didn't even know that energy was taken away from you because people are pushing all these views upon you. But when you pull away, you'll see how whole you'll get. So ask yourself why. Why do you allow these people to come in? Why do you allow those thoughts to hold you back? And once you find out, make a decision, a conscious decision to change it, do things better, and see how your life change. On that note, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.